Reporting live from Dutchtown High School. Here we are reporting on the Taiwan-China dispute. So first we'll start by looking at the early history of Taiwan when it was first discovered as an island, all the way back to post-World War II era. Then we will talk about how Chiang Kai-shek's troops were pushed back in the civil war that took place by Mao Zedong's communist forces. That is when the People's Republic of China, PRC, took over mainland China, and the Republic of China fled to Taiwan, where there were decades of hostility until the 1980s and 1990s. Relations improved until Chen Shui-bian was elected from the Democratic Progressive Party in 2000, and China passed an anti-succession law if Taiwan tried to succeed. In 2016, Tsai Ing-wen took office and is now the current president of Taiwan. Since the unrest and riots in Hong Kong in 2018, China has reasserted its influence by adding additional security laws to prevent secession, terrorism, subversion, and conspiracy. Lastly, we talk about the response from the United States. Although there are no formal diplomatic relations between the U.S. and Taiwan, President Biden has said that the U.S. does not encourage Taiwan to seek independence but wants to maintain peace in the region, and that the U.S. supports the Taiwan Act of 1979. President Xi of China has said that it will take resolute measures if necessary if separatist forces in Taiwan cross a red line. There has been a record number of Chinese warplane incursions sent into Taiwan's air defense zone in the past year. Some believe that a Chinese invasion of Taiwan is much closer than we think. Taiwan is the key that unlocks the Indo-Pacific. Beyond its crucial location, the island is an economic hub and the center for technological innovation. That's the background behind the dispute. Moving on to Ryan.
A question for you, Mr. Wu. What do you believe will happen after China and Taiwan's conflict?
Right now, China has signed to wanting to invade Taiwan. Luckily, we have the support of the United States, as they will interfere if China decides to invade us. Currently, the United States does not recognize us as a country due to their policy with China. But the future of Taiwan currently depends on China whether we will be invaded or not.
Reporter Ricky here. Apparently, the conflicts of China wanting to invade Taiwan has made the citizens feel threatened. As of recent news, protests has risen in Taiwan due to China crossing Taiwan's territory. Citizens are stressed due to pressure coming from the Chinese military. The economy is also at stake due to mainland China being Taiwan's biggest trading partner and can cut ties with Taiwan. This decision would impact the world's economy and Taiwan's social state.
By nearly 2-to-1 margin, people in Taiwan rate the U.S. more favorable than mainland China. There is a widespread support for increased economic and political ties with Washington. Enthusiasm for similar relations with mainland China is much needed. Still, even as people are skeptical about closer political relations, half would embrace closer economic ties with mainland China. Younger people are particularly likely to support closer relations with the U.S., and they are less likely to embrace closer relations with China.
Taiwan is China's biggest trading partner, and Taiwan's economy is very reliant on China. During the 17th century, it was controlled by the Chinese Empire. In 1895, it became a Japanese colony. Around 1945, Japan lost World War II and China took control of Taiwan. Taiwan is trying to separate itself from China, as the Chinese Communist Party supposedly claimed it. America is Taiwan's strongest ally, as it's supported by the U.S. Many items are prepared in Taiwan and are sold to others. The United States has an unofficial relationship with Taiwan. Defense equipment and military supplies are traded with Taiwan and the United States. China had shown a glimpse of its forces to Taiwan as intimidation. There were also sights of jets, aircrafts, and other things to spy/check on Taiwan. Around 63% of people identify as exclusively Taiwanese, showing how closely they relate to the island. The people involved in the dispute were PRC, which is the People's Republic of China, and ROC, just Republic of China. Japan is also included in 1895. Taiwan is the 17th largest exporter in the world, reported at 2022. The United States has long employed a policy of strategic ambiguity over Taiwan. declining to explicitly state how Washington would respond to a Chinese invasion of the island. That appeared to have shifted under Mr. Biden, but the White House quickly denied any change in the U.S. policy. Under the Taiwan Relations Act, passed into law by the U.S. Congress in 1979, the United States is committed to supplying weapons to Taiwan as may be necessary to enable Taiwan to maintain a sufficient self-defense. But the act says nothing about whether the U.S. would be obligated to defend the island militarily if it were to come under attack. Last year, President Biden raised eyebrows by saying the U.S. would send troops to help defend Taiwan if in fact there was an unprecedented attack by China. The island makes their own judgments about their independence, Mr. Biden told CBS News. 60 Minutes correspondent Scott Pelley stressing that the U.S. was not encouraging their being independent. That's their decision. Thank you, Ryan, and to all of the gracious interviewers. Have a good evening, everyone.